Introduce, discuss the nature of competitive, discuss the nature, scope, or development, and discuss the nature, scope, and development of competitive properties. And discuss the scope, discuss the scope, discuss the nature, scope, and development of competitive properties. Competitive properties, discuss scope and competitive properties. Competitive properties is a major idea, a major branch of competitive. Competitive property is a major branch of political science. Study which study political system by comparing countries, by comparing different countries. It helps in understanding. It helps in understanding. It helps in understanding similarity. It helps in understanding similarity. It helps in understanding similarity and difference between the difference among political institution process and behavior across nation. It helps understanding similarity and difference among political institution process and behavior across nation. Competitive is the major branch of political science, which study study political 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 constitution different. Process. Comparative politics is the main branch of comparative politics is the major comparative politics is the major branch of political science. We study political science and political constitution different countries studies political system by comparing different countries is help understanding is help understanding the is help understanding is help understanding is help us understanding by understanding similarity understanding similarity and and difference among behaviors among political difference among political institution process behavior process and behavior across nation behavior across nation nature of competitive politics nature of competitive politics the nature of competitive politics is broad and analytical broad the nature of competitive politics the nature of competitive politics the nature of competitive politics is broad and analytical. It study both democratic and non-democratic political system. It study both. It study both political and non it's totally political and non democratic it study both democratic and non-democratic political system. It study both democratic and non-democratic political system. It focuses not only formal institutions like the legislature and executive, but also informal processes such as political behavior and culture. It focuses on not only it focuses not only formal institutions like legislature and executive, but also informal processes. It focuses not only formal institutions like legislature and executive, but also the informal process such as political behavior and culture. It's it is scientific and scientific and empirical in nature and use observation, data and comparison. Comparison. It emphasizes political system as a whole. Political system as a whole. It emphasizes political system as a whole, not just limited government, not just government. This comparative politics is modern and realistic and comprehensive comparison, resolution between government. Discuss the nature of discuss the nature of discuss the nature, scope, and depth for the development of comparative politics. Comparative politics is the major branch of political system. Major branch of political comparative politics is a major branch of political system. Major branch of study. So which major branch of political science which study political system by comparing different countries. Comparative it help it's help understanding it's help understanding it helps understanding it's help understanding I कॉलेज का पढ़ाई कॉलेज का पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ discuss this nature discuss the nature compatibility is the major helps similarity between understanding similarity and difference among political institution process and behavior across nation. The major branch of political science. Comparative politics is a major branch of political science which studies political system and comparing different countries as comparing different countries. It's help in understanding similarity. It's help in understanding similarity and difference among political institutions. Different institutions. Similarity. This help difference. It's help understanding similarity between different similarity and difference among political institutions, political institution behavior, political institution process and behavior across nation. Hmm. Comparative it's help in understanding similarity and difference among difference among nature of comparative politics, 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 nature of comparative politics. nature of competitive is broad and nature of competitive is broad and broad and articular broad and analytical. Nature of competitive is broad and analytical. It study not only it study both it study it study both democratic and non-democratic political system. It study both and it study both competitive and non-democratic politics. It study both. It it study it study both the democratic and non-democratic political system. It study both. It study both. It study both. Both. It study not only formal structure like legislature and legislature, but also informal structure, informal process such as through political culture behavior, such as process such as political behavior culture. It is nature of body policy. Nature of body policy is the broad and analytical study study not only formal structure, study non-democratic, study non-democratic, study both study both democratic and non-democratic. Study not only formal structure like legislature, executive, but also informal informal process like such as informal structure such as political culture, political behavior and culture, political behavior and culture. Study using study study scientific and ethical using data observation and data observation and comparison. Emphasize political system. It emphasize political system as a whole, not just government. Whole, not just government, not just government. The those compatibilities, those compatibilities is not those compatibilities. This compatibility is this compatibility is modern. This compatibility is modern and realistic. This compatibility is modern and realistic and comprehensive. This compatibility is modern, realistic, and comprehensive. Modern, realistic, and comprehensive. ठीक है, समझ गए. Scope of comparative politics. Scope of comparative politics. Scope of comparative politics. Scope of comparative politics is very wide. Scope of comparative politics is very wide. study of political scope of competitive policy is very wide. Study of political institution, study of political institution, legislature and executive, judiciary, study of process, study of process, election behavior, culture, election participation, recruitment, study of political, study of political process, study of political process, election, election participation or recruitment, study of political culture and political socialization, study of political culture and political socialization, study of political culture and socialization, study of political culture and socialization, study of political development and modernization of and stability, study of political development and modernization and stability, study of political development, stability and modernization, study of political development, modernization and stability, modernization, study of political development, modernization, stability, study of political study of political parties, study of political parties, pressure group and political pressure group and interest group, for study of political parties, pressure group and interest group, study of political parties, interest group, political parties, pressure group, and interest group, study of public policy and decision making, study of public policy and decision making, study of public policies and decision making, study of public policies and decision making, study of public policy and decision making, study of public policy and decision making. Therefore, competitive policy across almost all, therefore competitive politics across almost all competitive all political life aspect. Therefore, competitive politics covers. Therefore competitive politics cover almost all political life, almost all aspect of competitive, almost all aspect of competitive study. Political institution, political process, political culture, socialization, political development, political parties, political policies, decision and decision making, decision making. Yeah. Mm. Scope of competitive politics, scope of competitive politics is very wide. The 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 scope of competitive politics scope of competitive politics is very wide and scope of competitive politics is very wide. Scope of competitive politics is very wide. Scope of competitive politics. Scope of competitive politics. Scope of competitive is very wide. Study not study formal structure, study 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 political institution legislation, study political institution legislation, legislation executive, study of political process is election, recruitment and election, election, recruitment and election participation. दूसरा नंबर था, दो नंबर study the study of political development, modernization and comparison, comparison and development, modernization and authorization and stability, study of political culture, study of political culture and socialization, study of political parties, pressure group and interest group, study of political policy and decision making, study of political. Therefore, therefore competitive politics cover, therefore competitive politics cover almost aspect of political life. Therefore competitive politics Therefore, comparative politics study almost all study. Therefore, comparative politics study almost all study. Therefore, comparative politics cover almost all aspects of political life. Therefore, comparative politics cover almost all. Therefore, comparative politics study almost all study. Therefore, comparative politics covers almost all aspects of political life. Therefore, comparative politics covers almost all aspects of political life. Therefore, comparative politics study almost all. Therefore, comparative politics study all almost all aspects of political life. Therefore, comparative politics covers almost all aspects of political life. Development, development and comparative policies. Development and comparative development and comparative politics. Development and comparative politics. Development and comparative politics. Development of politics, development of comparative politics, development of comparative politics can be divided into three stages. Development of comparative politics divided into three stages. Development of comparative politics divided into three stages. Three stages for development of comparative politics can be divided into three stages. Development of comparative politics. Development of comparative politics can be divided into three stages. Traditional stage focus on constitution and legal institution. Focus on constitutional constitutions. Focus on constitution and legal institutions. Comparative government. Behavioral stage. Behavioral stage emphasize political behavior, scientific method, and empirical research. stage emphasize political behavior, scientific method, and empirical research. Behavioral stage, behavioral stage, behavioral stage, precise political behavioral stage, precise political behavior, scientific method, and empirical research. Mm, Behavioral stage, precise political culture, behavioral, behavioral stage, precise political behavior, scientific method, and political research, and political research, and political research. Besides political behavior, scientific method, and empirical research. Besides behavioral stage, besides political culture, behavioral stage, behavioral stage, besides political culture, besides political culture, besides political behavior, scientific method, and empirical research. Besides political culture, behavior, behavioral stage, besides political culture, legislature, scientific, besides political behavior, scientific method, and empirical research. Post post behavior stressed 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 relevance values and problem solving along with scientific study. Post behavioral stage, post behavioral stage, stressed stress release relevance stressed relevance relevance values and problem solving among scientific study. Post behavioral stage. Post behavioral stage. Stressed among stress release stress relevance. Post behavior stressed relevance values stressed relevance values and problem solving with scientific study. Thinkers like David Easton, Garvey Harman, Lucien Payne, thinkers like David Easton, thinkers like David Easton, post relevance, values and problem solving along with scientific study. Thinkers like David Easton, thinkers like David Easton, thinkers like David Easton, thinkers like David Easton, Garvey Harman, Lucien Payne, and Samuel Huntington contributed significantly in particularly in its development and in its development. Conclusion: comparative politics has evolved from narrow evolved evolved from narrow constitutional study to broad and scientific discipline. Broad and scientific discipline. Its nature is modern. Its its nature its nature is modern and analytical. Its nature is modern and analytical. The scope is wide and development, relief and changing needs to changing needs to changing needs to changing changing needs of political analysis of analysis of comparative government analysis of comparative government. Comparative government. Conclusion: comparative politics has evolved from narrow institutional study to broad and significant discipline and in nature is modern and analytical. Its scope, its scope is wide and its development development and development and development reflect This development reflects the changing needs of political analysis and temporary world temporary world temporary world temporary world. Compatibility has evolved from narrow to institutional study. Compatibility has evolved from narrow to institutional study into broad and scientific discipline. To narrow institutional study to narrow institutional study to a broad and scientific study. Broad and scientific broad and discipline scientific discipline. The, its nature is modern and analytical. Its scope is wide. Its scope is wide, and its development reflects the changing needs of political analysis in, in temporary world. In temporary world, explain the evolution. Explain the evolution of explain the explain the evolution and explain the explain and evaluate the system theory of David Easton. Introduction. David Easton introduced the system theory in political system science to study politics in scientific and systematic way. His view politics as a as system system view is politics as a system view as he view politics which is a system of interaction that equally allocate values and authoritative of society. Meaning of political system. Meaning of political system according to Easton, the political system is a set of interaction through which authoritative values are eco-located in society. The the system operates with the system operates with the system operates with the system is operate with the system is operate the system meaning that the system according to Easton according to Easton and political system is a set of interaction through which authoritative values in are echo associated in associated in society. The operate the system operate with within a environment if in environment and continuously interact with it. Meaning of political system. According to Easton, the political system is a set of interactions through which authoritative values are allocated, allocated in society. The system operates within the environment, and continuously interact with it. Content. con- com- components of Eastern Eastern system theory. Components of components of Eastern system theory. Inputs of demands. Input consists of demands and supports comparing some supports coming from society. Demands demands include public needs such as welfare and justice, while support includes obedience to law and loyalty to the system. Pro- province, pro- conversation conservation process. The political system convert input the conversation. The political system convert input into decision through institutions like legislatures, executive, and bureaucracy. Outputs. Outputs are the decision and policies made by authorities such as law and government action. Feedback. Feedback is the reaction of society to the output. It's help the system modify and adjust its policies. Environment. The political system operates within social, economic, and international environments influence political decision, which influence political decision. Evaluate, evaluation and system of evaluation and system of evaluation and system of evaluation and system evolution and criticism of system theory. The theory is too the theory is too abstract and general. It ignores it ignores conflict, power struggle, and inequality. It ignores conflict, power struggle, and equality. It, it ignores conflict, power. It ignores it ignores conflict. It ignores conflict, power struggles, and inequality. It ignores conflict in general. The theory is too abstract and general. It ignores conflict, power, struggles, and inequality. It does not explain why certain demands are accepted and others rejected. It o- o- over over overemphasized stability and equilibrium, neglecting change and evolution. Neglecting change and evolution. Deposit evolution. Despite criticism, Eastern, despite criticism, Eastern system theory is important because it provides a new scientific framework for studying policies. It helps move. It helps. It helps moved. It helps move political science away from purely legal and institutional studies to a dynamic and historic analysis of political system. Critically explain the structural functional approach of Almond and Powell. Almond and Powell critically explain the structural functional approach of Almond and Powell. Introduce Garvey Allman and G.B. Powell, William Powell, G.B. Powell developed the structural functional approach to study political system in a comparative and scientific manner. Study in a comparative and scientific manner. This approach analyze this approach analyze political system. This approach analyze political system by dif- identifying their structures and the functions performed by these structures. The approach to the studies political system. Garvey and G. Powell developed the structural function to study political system in a comparative and scientific manner. This approach analyze political system by identifying their structures and the functions performed by these these structure in these structure. Meaning of structural functional approach. Meaning of structural functional approach according to Almond and Powell. Meaning of structural functional approach according to Almond and Powell. According to Almond and Powell, every political system consists to consists to various structures such as legislature, executive, judiciary, political parties. According to Alvin Powell, every political system consists of various structures such as legislature, executive, judiciary, political parties, and interest group. These structures perform certain functions. These structures perform certain functions necessary These structures perform certain functions necessary for survival of the political system. Survival and stability of the political system. Stability of political system. Functions and functions of political system. Functions of political system. Alban classified political functions into two categories. Functions of functions of political system. Functions of political system. Functions of Alban classified political function into two categories: input function, political socialization and recruitment. Political socialization and recruitment. Interest, political socialization and recruitment. Interest, 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 ag- aggregation, political communication, output function, rule making, legislature, output function, rule making, legislature, rule application, executive, executive, rule education, rule adjudication, judiciary. These functions are performed by different structures. These functions are these functions are performed by different structures in different political systems. These structures performed by different structures. These functions performed by different structures in a different system, in a different political system, making 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 comparison possible, making comparison possible, making comparison possible. इसके बाद importance of the approach. It provides a comparative framework. Importance of the approach. It provides a comparative framework applicable to all political systems. Provide a comparative framework applicable to the all to applicable to all political systems. It goes beyond formal institution. It goes beyond formal institution and include informal structures. It helps it helps in understanding it helps it helps in understanding political development and stability. It helps in understanding. It helps in understanding. It helps in. It helps in understanding political development and stability. It helps in. It helps in. It helps in understanding. It helps in understanding political development and stability. It made. It made political science more scientific and analytical. It made political science more scientific and analytical. It made political science more scientific and analytical. It made it made political science more scientific and analytical. Criticism, criticism and evaluation. The approach is too abstract and descriptive. The approach is too abstract. The approach is too abstract and descriptive. It ignores power relation, class conflict, and inequality. It ignores power. It ignores power. It ignores power relation, classification, and it ignores power relation, class conflict, and inequality. It over 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 overemphasized it overemphasized it overemphasized it overemphasized system stability and neglects changes neglects changes and revolution neglects change and evolution. It does not explain why certain it does not explain why certain structures dominate others. It does not explain why certain structures do- dominate others. It is certain. Criticized for being Western biased. Western biased. It is. It is criticized by for. It is criticized by being Western biased. Biased. It is criticized by Western biased. Despite criticism, the structural functional approach of Alman and Powell is significant contribution, contribution to compatible Powell is a significant contribution to compatibility. It provides a it provides a systematic method of political system and shift, shift shift their focus from institution to functions institution to functions, making political analysis broad and more inclusive. Compare the compare the theory of political system. Compare the compare the compare the compare the theory of political system. Compare the theory of political system. Compare the compare the theories of political development. Compare the theories of political development and political decay given by Lucian Pay Huntington. Lucian Pye and Samuel Huntington. Samuel P. Huntington. To introduction, political development and political decay are two important concepts in comparative politics. Political development, political development, and political decay are two important concept in political in comparative politics. Lucian Pay explained political. Pay explained political development in terms of modernization, modernization, capacity, and political culture, while comparative complexity focus on political decay and argue that rapid modernization without strong institution leads to instability. Approaches present two contracting views to political changes. These approaches present two consisting views to political changes. Pay Huntington, Lucian Pay Huntington of, political development. Lucian Pay Huntington, Lucian Pay Huntington of Lucian Pay Huntington, Lucian Pay Huntington of political development. Lucian Pay Huntington of political development. Lucian Pay views political development as a multi-dimensional process. According to him, political development means the ability of political system to manage social change effectively. Pei identified key element of political development. Pei, Pei, Pei identified key element. Pei identified key element of political development such as equality, capacity, differentiation, 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 and participation. Equality refers to equal political rights. Equality refers to equal political rights. Capacity means efficiency of efficiency of institution, institutionalism, institutions and different refers to okay? अरे अरे Lucien Page theory of development. Lucien Page theory of political development. Lucien Page view political development as a multi-dimensional process. According to him, political development means the ability of political system to manage social change effectively. Page identify key elements of political development such as equality, participant, okay, capacity, differentiation, and participation. Equality refers to the equality refers to the equal political rights. Capacity means efficiency of institutions, and differentiation refers to the specialization of political roles. He also emphasized political culture. He also emphasized political culture and legitimacy and modernization. Pay believed development leads development leads to stability and democratic growth. Development leads to the stability. Perry believes development leads to stability and community change. Huntington theory of political decay. Samuel Huntington represent the concept of political decay in his work. Present, presented the concept of political decay in his work Political Order in Changing Societies. He argued that political decay requires when political parties growth, grow, grown faster than political institutions. According to Huntington, modernization, according to Huntington, according to Huntington, modernization, according to Huntington, modernization brings social, according to Huntington, modernization brings social modernization. According to Huntington, modernization brings social modernization. According to Huntington, modernization brings social mobilization and demands, but If political institutions are weak, the system becomes unstable. Corruption, violence, and breakdown of order are, results of political decay. For Huntington, institutionalization and political order are more important than rapid modernization or democracy. Rapid modernization or democracy. Comparison between Pei and Huntington focus. Pei focus on political development. Pei focus on political decay. Key ideas. Political emphasize political key ideas. Pei emphasize modernization and political culture. Pei Huntington emphasize institutional strength and order. Uh, Role of participation. Pei see participation as positive. Huntington warns it can cause instability without strong institution. Outcome. Pei associated Pei associated development. Pei associated development with democracy. Huntington prioritized stability over democracy. Conclusion. Lucien Pei present Lucien Pei represent, presents Lucien Pei present an optimistic view. Conclusion. Lucien Pei presents a optimistic view of political change through development and modernization, while offers a realistic and accurately accurately present perspective by highlighting the dangers of political decay. Together, there, together, there, together, their thesis provides a balanced understanding of political and developing countries, developing societies. Yes, explain the concept of constitutionalism. Explain the concept of constitutionalism. Explain the concept of constitutionalism and its relevance of post-colonial post-colonial society. Post-colonial 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 society. Explain. Explain the concept of constitutionalism and its relevance in post-colonial society. Constitutionalism introduction. Constitutionalism is a fundamental principle. Constitutionalism is a fundamental policies. Constitutionalism is a fundamental principle. Constitutionalism is a fundamental principle of modern political system. Constitutionalism is a fundamental constitutionalism is a fundamental principle of modern political system. Constitutionalism is a fundamental principle of modern political system. It means that government power is limited by constitution, constitution and exercised according to the rule of law. The post colonial society, the post colonial societies constitutionalism play a crucial role in nation building, building, democracy and protection of rights after dependency. Uh, after independence. Con, concept of constitutionalism. Concept of constitutionalism. Concept of cons- constitutionalism. Concept of constitutionalism. Constitutionalism. Concept of constitutionalism. Constitutionalism is not merely is constitutionalism is not merely that that existence of a written constitution. It is practice for limited government. It is practice practice of limited government. It ensure that it ensure that political it ensure that rulers govern with constitutional limits and respect legal pro producer producer. The main features of constitutionalism. The main feature of constitutionalism includes the main features of the main features of the main feature of constitutional the main features of constitutionalism. The main features of constitutionalism. The main features of the main features of constitutionalism includes the main feature of constitutionalism. The main features of constitutionalism. The main features of constitutionalism includes the rule of law. The constitutional rule of law. No one is above of the law. Limited government powers of the state are restricted. Separation of power. Division of authority among legislature, executive, judicial. आ रहा है कैसा क्या हो गया एक पे fundamental rights, protection of individual stability, fundamental protection of individual liberty, independent judiciary, ensure constitutional supreme of justice. This this constitution prevent ab- arbitrary rule and promotes accountable relevance. The constitutionalism is the relevance of constitutionalism or relevance of constitutionalism in post-colonial society. Relevance of relevance of relevance of constitutionalism in post-colonial society. Relevance of constitutionalism in post-colonial society. Post-colonial society emerged from colonial rule marked by marked by marked by authoritarian governance and exploitation. Constitutionalism become essential for survival reason. Nation building, nation building, constitutions, nation building, constitution help unite division population population under a common legal framework. Democratic governance. It provide the basis is provide a basis for representative in institution and political participation. Protection of protection of right fundamental rights safeguarded citizens protection fundamental rights safeguard citizens against against abuse of the state power. Abuse of state power. Rule of law replaced colonial rule of law replaced colonial arbitrariness arbitrariness and legal authority, legal accountability, political instability, political instability, political stability, constitutional limits, constitutional limits help manage ethnic social and political conflict. Judicial review. Court ensured, court ensured enforcement. Court ensured, court ensured judicial review. Court ensured enforcement of constitutional constitutional principle. The court like India, court countries like India, Ghana, and South Africa adopt constitutionalism to strengthen democracy and independence after independence. The challenge, despite its importance, post-colonial society face challenge such as weak institutions, military intervention, corruption, and authoritarian traditions, tendency which often undermine constitutionalism. Constitutionalism is a vital constitutionalism is vital for democratic consolidation and political stability in post-colonial society. All through challenges remain its countries to serve as a fundamental foundation of rule of law, rights, and accountable governance, making it indispensable in post-colonial world.